Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to get this purple and pink colorful look. So if you'd like to see how I did it, just keep on watching. So going into the Bad Habit Aftershock palette, I went in with the shade Electronica on a BS Small blending brush, and I first packed this into my crease, and then I slowly started to buff her out the edges. Then on the same brush, I went in with the shade Sensation, and I put that into my crease as well, but just a little lower. And I gradually built this color up because I didn't want it to be too pink right off the bat. And then going into the shade Tingle, and I used an e.l.f. blending brush for this, a smaller blending brush. And I focused this lower into my crease and then did the same thing, just gradually built the color up. And then going back into that first blending brush, I used it to blend out any harsh edges. Then taking that same e.l.f. brush, I went in with the shade Surge, and I focused this even lower into my crease, and then I just did the same thing with that I did with the pinks, is I just first packed on the color and then slowly built it up. And then I just buffed out the edges with that first blending brush. And then I wasn't happy with how that shade looked blended out. It looked more pink than red, so I went back in with it and packed it in a little more. I mean, it still looked more pink than red, but then it looked closer to what I was going for. Then taking some concealer and a flat shadow brush, I just carved out my crease. Next, I went in with the shade BPM on the same brush, and I just packed that all over the concealer I just laid down. And this is going to act as a base color for the cream color I'm going to be putting on top of it. Then for the cream color, I went in with the Jcat Prismetal Chrome Eye Mousse in the shade Poppin Lockin. And normally I apply these with my finger, but then I tried it with a brush and it worked just fine. So I just used the same flat shadow brush and then just put that over the purple shade. And this color has more like it looks purple, but then when the light hits it, it looks kind of like blue, so it's like a duochrome. Then going back into the Aftershock palette, I went in with the shade Plur, I think that's how you say that, on that same e.l.f. blending brush, and I just packed that onto the outer corner of my eye. And then I went back in with the shade BPM, and I placed that in between the shimmer and then the dark blue shade to help it blend together. Then starting off my base, I went in with the Covergirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir Foundation in the shade Classic Ivory. and I buff that into my skin using the AOA F4 brush. For concealer, I went in with the Makeup Revolution concealer in the shade C2, and I blended that out with a dense tapered face brush. To set all of that into place, I went in with the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder in the shade Transparent, and I used a Be a Small tapered face brush for under my eyes, and then a Be a Small angled face brush for the rest of my face. And I've just been trying to use as much of this powder as possible because I already bought another one to replace this one because I hit pan on it, but it's just taking forever to get through it. Then to bronze up my skin, I went in with the Rimmel, the natural bronzer in the shade Sunlight, using a Wet n Wild angled fluffy brush. Then I went into the Profusion Highlight and Contour palette and took the shade Shade Contour, using a Luxie tapered foundation brush, and then I used that to carve out my cheekbones and my jawline. Then for blush, I went in with the Profusion blush palette with the shade Playful, using the Royal and Langnickel Moda Pro pointed blush brush. Then going back into that same highlight and contour palette, I went in with the shade Impulse, using the Luxie tapered highlighting brush to highlight my cheekbones, my cupid's bow, the tip of my nose, and the bridge of my nose. Then to finish off my face, I went in with the shade Chaser, oh my goodness, I cannot speak right now, from that same palette, and then I'm using a brush from the Vintage Cosmetics company. And then using the same brush, I went in with the shade Tingle. And then using this angled brush, this is a dual-ended brush from Spiced Cosmetics. I took the shade Plur and then just put that on the outer half of my lower lash line. Then using a small detail brush, I went in with the shade Surge, and I placed that in between the purple and my crease colors to help give it more definition. Then to highlight my inner corners, I went in with the same shade that I used from the Profusion Highlight and Contour palette. For mascara, I went in with the Essence Lash Princess Mascara and coated my top and lower lashes. And then finally for lips, I went in with this e.l.f. lipstick in the shade Praline. It doesn't state like what line it is. Like normally like lipsticks will have like the Wet n Wild has the liquid catsuit lipsticks. This just says e.l.f. on it, so I don't know if it's like, I don't know. I'll have it in the description box if I can figure it out. And that completes this look. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you in my next one.